Babes, welcome back to another week, chapter 1163. Nothing to do with the chapter, but I'm just thinking about the most underrated guy in all of One Piece. In the entirety of the series, the show, however you digest the media, the most underrated guy. I'm talking about a guy who had the ability to hold down three emperors and just a couple of warlords all at the same time. I hope you know who I'm talking about, but if you don't, just a small part of me wishes that there was a break week next week just so I can make a video on this one guy. But it'll have to wait. It'll have to wait. It's somebody that nobody would want to fight. Nobody would want to fight. At this point, you should know who I'm talking about. But if you don't, you're going to have to wait. There's no break next week, which I'm very excited about. But it was an excellent chapter. It was an excellent chapter for a lot of reasons. We haven't seen Luffy in a minute, so seeing him even in the cover story, is good. It's good to see. We haven't seen him in a minute. Another thing that I wanted to bring up was Egghead animation. You guys like it? I'm kind of indifferent on it. I feel like it's a little too grainy for my taste, but it's becoming such a high, and especially that arc, in terms of just overall speed and area of attack just being so large, it's almost necessary, but it scares me a little bit. It had me think a little bit about Attack on Titan season 4, how they changed it. I did not like that. Still early. I'm still not 100% sure on how I feel, but anyway, getting to the threat. Emu, surprise, surprise, does not care about either side. The government are just kind of, the Navy to Emu is just about pointless. It's just a group of people that don't directly go against what he says and what he's after. It's somebody that kind of almost indirectly helps, because they're not doing a great job of necessarily helping him, but on a small scale they are. They're taking away the trash. They're making things harder to find. They are helping him, but they don't help him enough to be like, dude, get out of my way. He doesn't care about anybody. She does not care about anyone. We see that Garp, and I love it, Garp is actually going to go up against Emu. He's like, that looks like swine. That looks like a rat that needs to be taken care of. And Rox calls him the Rat King, which I love. Interesting set of dialogue and a couple interesting panels of Emu talking about Davy Jones. And now what I think was originally a silhouette literally might just be a shrouded human being. Like, Emu might just be in shadows all the time. Like, the form is not something that we can even see, because I assumed when Cobra saw Emu, it was like they were seeing somebody. And we've seen a lot of like shadowy figures and it being like, oh, they can see them, but Oda doesn't want to reveal it to us yet. This person's just enshrouded in shadow. It's just a shadow person, and all we get to see is their eyes. I think there's definitely some features that we're not quite seeing, but that's what we're dealing with now. But the interesting dialogue talks about how there was a promise that Emu made to expunge, love that word, expunge the Davy Jones clan and Davy Jones from history, to make Moo's world. And now I think that this can tie back, I haven't really done the research 100%, ties back to the mural in some way where we can start to answer some of those questions. Where did Emu show up and which world was it? Not here to talk to you about that today. But Garp goes over there and he's like, I am going to be backing them up. And the Navy's like, who are you backing up, bro? Like, he's on our side. And he's like, doesn't fucking look like it. And he's right, it doesn't look like it. And I think Garp is someone that always shoots from the hip, someone who's very honest. So it's a good thing to see him sticking to that side of things. Another fun thing that we saw was Captain John, and Captain John with his magnetism powers, as theorized, taking all the treasure for himself. Now, it doesn't look like he got away with it in this chapter, but with all the fighting and greed going on amongst the Rocks pirates, I think that he probably will in some way, shape, or form. Another thing that I fucking loved was Gizwan, Jinzwan, the armored Chinese inspired character, flicking boogers at people, flicking bomb boogers. And I was like, dude, I loved Mr. Five's power. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I thought that it was just fun to watch. And it seems like he has like the awakened version of it, perhaps an attack that seems like Mr. Fives, but on steroids. And it's awesome to see because he's just flicking boogers at people. That's what he's doing. He's flicking, but we don't see him pick his nose. But those are boogers, and I know how that attack works. And he's flicking those boogers around. He's even attacking Shiki, and they're all fighting over the treasure. In the meanwhile, Garp is running over to take care of the pest. All the past and present emperors. Are there any present? No. Well, I guess the only present one is a baby right now. But all the past emperors are coming together along with Rox and Roger and Garp to exterminate the threat. And they use an insane quality of attacks here. The most powerful barrage of attacks that we'll probably ever see, all in succession. I mean, we're talking 6 dynamite attacks. 6 attacks that could crush and kill Kid over and over and over again. Maybe some other people could take 1 or 2 of those, but probably not. Probably not. And Emu makes this face that you would think something's going on. I think she understands that. She's like, okay, maybe I should worry a little bit, but at the same time, I'm not too panicked. Hockey might be the answer to everything, even my own destruction, but I'm going to go ahead and let off a bomb right now so nobody sees what I'm about to do. It seems like that was those panels of no decisions being made after Emu took that attack and being like, you know what? Screw these guys. The strongest attack that I just took was from Rox, so I'm going to make that guy on my side. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Dragon is littered throughout this chapter in kind of a fun way. We're seeing kind of Shanks and what's going on there and maybe what shaped Dragon to what he is. Emu talking shit. Seems to be recovering a bit slower. I think that we've seen that with Summers and some other people as well, depending on how strong the attack is. But Rox goes in there, throws out a strike while the other people are arguing over whose attack was the strongest, and he turns Rox over to the dark side. Now Rox is going to be an absolute problem to deal with. An absolute problem. But I don't think he's a big enough problem for all 5 of the rest of them to not be able to handle him. I think that he makes quick work of Kaido and a Big Mom, maybe even Whitebeard, but the other 2 should be a real issue, which is why we know that those 2 are known as the ones that stopped him. So I think that Rock's about to put on a show with the former emperors and just kind of show us that there are levels to this game. And then the other 2 will hopefully be able to stop him in some way, shape, or form. I don't know what's going to happen with Emu. Emu might just leave the field right now and be like, you know what? That's all I really wanted to do. Nobody knows about me being here. The Davy Jones being eradicated is exactly what I wanted. Maybe there's some threatening going on from Emu in terms of Garp, because Garp has some people on the field that he cares about, but he seems too justice-driven to really have that be done to him, but something has to happen in switching Garp to make him do what he's about to do. Excellent chapter. No break next week either, and we're going to see Rox in some matchups that should be really fun. We might see some side characters getting away with some treasure, but it should be sweet. Another point that my brother made that doesn't make a whole lot of sense is, how in the hell is that island still standing at this point? Even those 6 attacks, if they landed on him, should have destroyed everything. Everything. I mean, everything. Because everything. The dragon attack, the former emperor's attacks alone, and I'm telling you, they're about to be made as fodder in the next chapter. Those 3 alone should have destroyed the island. Those attacks should have just decimated everything that was going on that island. And I guess you could debate the whole law thing where it's like, well, Conquerors and Hockey makes it so you can't use your ability, or the ability kind of just stops if there's too much Hockey around, which there's a lot to be going around on this island, a ton. But no, the island should be toast. The island should be absolutely destroyed. It should be an archipelago right now, at the very least. At the very least, these attacks are insane. I mean, even the attack that Rox threw out, we know, was it 5 kilometers when him and spacing on his name, Loki's dad, Harold, when they interacted, 5 kilometers, everyone blown back, things destroyed, and yet there's like no damage around them. This island should be flattened. Anyway, maybe I'm being picky. Shouts to Oda getting healthy. Next week, no break. I'll see you guys then, and don't forget, the most underrated character in all of One Piece. See you guys.